Is luck just random chance, a lightning bolt striking out of nowhere? Or is there, something more to it, something we can actually influence, maybe even create?
That's a really profound question, and it's pretty much the mission of our deep dive today. We're looking at an international bestseller that, well, it really captured imaginations. Good Luck, The Secret of Luck.
Okay, Good Luck. I remember this one. This wasn't just like a popular book. It was huge, a phenomenon.
Absolutely. Penned by Alex Rivera and Fernando Triestabes. Get this, over 2.5 million copies sold globally in just 6 months.
Wow, 6 months.
Yeah. And it was named Japan Book of the Year 2004.
Okay, so massive impact.
Huge. And what's really striking, I think, is that the translation rights, they were sold in 15 languages before it even came out in Spain back in February 2004.
Before publication. That's unusual. Shows real confidence in the idea.
It does. By March 2005, Vietnam was the 68th country to pick up the rights. It just shows how universal that core message felt.
And that message, right from the book, is luck in life does not come by chance, but luck is created by ourselves. So this idea, this challenging idea that you make your own luck, how does the book start to unpack that?
Well, it unfolds through a really powerful story. It opens with this quite poignant reunion, actually. 50 years in the making.
50 years?
Yeah, between two childhood friends, Max and Jim. They meet again in a park. Max is, by every measure, a huge success, a top businessman.
Okay, the symbol of success.
Right. And Jim? Yeah. Well, Jim openly admits his life has been, quote, a series of continuous failures.
That's tough. So what's Jim's story? How did he end up there?
It's quite heartbreaking, really. He tells Max his family got wealthy suddenly through an inheritance when he was young.
Oh, okay, so unexpected money.
Exactly. Changed everything. New environment, lost touch with Max. Later, he ran a company. But, and this seems key, when things were going well, he just coasted. Yeah, he admitted he made no changes, just sort of let things run, assuming what worked then would work forever. He wasn't looking at the details of the changing market.
Right. And complacency can be dangerous. What happened next?
Well, competitors emerged. Cheaper products, trendier stuff. Jim believed his better quality would automatically win.
But it didn't.
No. Because, crucially, the customers didn't actually recognize that difference in quality he thought was so obvious. Or maybe they just didn't care enough compared to price and style. He missed that detail.
The perception of quality, not just the reality. That's a critical detail.
Exactly. And the result? Business collapsed. He lost everything. His wife left him. For the last 15 years, he's been struggling, odd jobs, even relying on charity sometimes.
Wow. And his view on all this?
He blamed fate entirely. Believed fate only smiles on those who are lucky enough to be chosen. He wasn't seeing his own role or the lack of attention to, well, anything specific.
Just waiting to be chosen. Okay, so what about Max? His story must be different.
Completely different. Max came from, extreme poverty. Family often went hungry.
Really? So the opposite starting point.
Totally. His big break, his turning point, was buying this small, failing leather bag shop. Used all his savings, borrowed the rest.
Okay, a big risk. How did he make it work? This is where the creating luck part comes in, I guess.
Yes, and here's where his incredible focus on detail just jumps out. He used his past experience. He'd been a bellboy in fancy hotels.
Okay, so he saw things.
He saw what wealthy clients liked, what they carried, he paid attention, and he meticulously recreated those styles in his own shop.
Smart. Using observation, those details he picked up.
And the effort. The book says he worked almost without rest, day and night, weekends and holidays, constantly reinvesting, looking for new angles, even changing his best-selling designs every year. No procrastination.
Changing the bestsellers? That takes guts. Most would just ride the wave.
Right. But he knew styles changed, and crucially, his mission was to understand leather bags better than anyone else.
How did he do that?
He didn't just guess. He asked people, what do you like about your bag? What do you hate? He was gathering data, the small preference details. He took responsibility, focused on customer needs, those specifics.
That sounds like building success from the ground up, detail by detail.
And it worked. He ended up employing over 2,000 people.
Incredible. So Max's view is the polar opposite of Jim's.
Absolutely. Max firmly states luck is created. It's not just handed out. And then he offers to tell Jim a story that explains how.
The core of the book's message, I imagine.
Exactly. This story takes us, and Jim, to the enchanted forest. Merlin the wizard gathers knights.
Merlin. Okay, bit of magic involved.
A bit. He sets this challenge. Find a rare magic 4-leaf clover within 5 days. Only one in the world, grants eternal luck.
Eternal luck. High stakes. So who are the key players?
2 knights stand out. First, there's not the Black Knight. He represents, well, impatience, believing luck just happens to you.
Okay, not what's his approach?
He immediately goes to Gnome, the prince of the soil. But notice his question. He asks where the clover will grow.
Right. Location, location, location.
And kind of. But Gnome tells him straight. 4-leaf clovers have never grown here. The soil's wrong. The conditions aren't right.
So, direct information. How does Num react?
He dismisses it, thinks Gnome is lying, or maybe already told the other knight Sid. He doesn't absorb the detail about the soil condition being wrong.
He's not listening to the why.
Not at all. Same pattern continues. He asks the Lady of the Lake. She explains her lake is stagnant, no flow. Clovers need constant water flow. Another crucial detail.
And not.
Dismisses her too. Just clings to this belief the clover has to appear somehow. Finally, he talks to Sequoia, the queen of trees.
What does she say?
She confirms, nope, never grown here in 2,000 years. And she criticizes his impatience. Not just feels defeated then. Convinced Merlin lied. He even takes comfort thinking the other night Sid will fail too.
So his whole approach is flawed. He's focused on the outcome, not the process.
Exactly. He missed the fundamental point. He kept asking where, instead of asking what does it need? What are the conditions, the details required for it to grow? He blames everyone else and feels entitled to luck without effort. His waiting just becomes despair.
Okay, stark contrast time. Enter Sid, the White Knight. How does he handle the news that clovers don't grow there?
This is where it gets interesting. Sid hears the same thing from Gnome, clovers don't grow here, but his reaction, totally different. He doesn't give up.
What does he do?
He thinks, okay, if it can't grow here naturally, then I need to. Well, I need to find the necessary conditions for the 4-leaf clover to grow. He shifts focus immediately.
From finding to creating. That's a huge mental shift.
Huge. And he acts on it. He starts focusing on the details needed. First, soil. He asks Gnome, okay, where can I find fertile soil?
Ah, a practical question based on the need.
Right. Gnome points him to this barren area, strangely enough, described as a toilet for 12-legged cows.
So?
Rich in manure.
Okay. Maybe not glamorous, but fertile.
Exactly. And Sid gets to work. He meticulously prepares a small plot, just a few square meters, using this soil. He's addressing the first specific need of the clover.
Right. Detail 1. Fertile soil. Check. What about water?
He sees the Lady of the Lake's problem, her stagnant lake, the lilies having to sing to evaporate water to stop it flooding.
That's quite the image. Lilies singing.
It is. But Sid sees the problem and offers a solution. He digs a trench from her lake, creates a flowing stream.
So he gets the flowing water the clover needs.
And solves her flooding problem at the same time. It shows incredible attention to the environmental details and a willingness to add value, not just take.
Brilliant. Creating a win-win. Okay, soil, flowing water, what else?
Light. He asks Sequoia, how much light does a clover need?
Another specific, detail-oriented question.
Yep. She tells him, as much light as shade, but the forest is dense. That balance doesn't exist naturally.
So Sid.
He gets clearing. He cuts down trees, opens up a space to create that precise balance of light and shade. Again, modifying the environment based on a specific, detailed requirement.
This is relentless. He's literally building the perfect microenvironment.
He really is. One final detail. On the last day, he asks Sonten, the mother of stones, is there anything else?
Good question. Always one more thing.
She tells him, yes, the clover needs stone-free soil. Sid rushes back to his little plot and works like crazy, pulling out every single stone.
Wow. The level of meticulousness is astounding. He's covering every base.
Day and night he worked, remember? Not even knowing for sure if it would pay off, but trusting he was doing everything necessary, attending to every detail he could identify.
Seems like he had a philosophy guiding him.
He did. He remembered his grandfather's advice. Life will give you what you give. The problems of others are often solutions for you. If you're willing to share, you will receive even more.
That fits perfectly with helping the Lady of the Lake.
Absolutely. He's trusting that by creating the right conditions, focusing on those crucial details, luck, or the opportunity for luck, will follow.
Okay, the moment of truth. Day 5 arrives. What happens?
Magic happens. Seeds of the 4-leaf clover rain down, not just on Sid's plot, but over the entire enchanted forest and beyond.
Everywhere. Okay, so maybe wasn't entirely wrong about it appearing.
But here's the crucial part. The seeds land everywhere. And everywhere else, they just wither and die instantly.
And on Sid's patch.
On Sid's small, perfectly prepared, meticulously detailed patch of land, they sprout instantly into magnificent magic four-leaf clover.
Because the conditions were finally right. Only there.
Precisely. Then the wind god appears, calls himself the Lord of Fate and Luck.
Okay, big title.
And he explains, I distribute the seeds everywhere, fairly every year. I do not randomly bestow luck. The magic four-leaf clover will only grow where conditions are created for it to sprout.
Wow. So luck isn't random favoritism. It's about preparation meeting opportunity.
That's the core message. Luck isn't chosen, it's cultivated. The seeds, the potential might be everywhere, but they only flourish where the detailed groundwork has been laid.
That really reframes the whole idea. What about Not? Does he get it?
Well, Merlin confronts him, explains he knew Not would be easily tricked by Morgana, the Black Witch. Apparently, she tried to convince Not the clover was in Merlin's garden and to kill Merlin.
Whoa, dark turn.
Yeah. Merlin tells Not his biggest mistake wasn't just impatience, it was not believing in himself, always looking for excuses, never solutions. You always waited for others to bring you luck.
Ouch, hits hard. And Sid, does he take his eternal luck?
Interestingly, no. Sid tells Merlin he doesn't actually need the clover itself. The journey, the lessons, understanding how to create the conditions, that's the real treasure for him.
Learning the secret was the reward.
Exactly. He says he'll keep creating his own luck and share the secrets with others because, as he puts it, luck needs to be shared.
That's a great ending to the fable. But how does Max tie this back to Jim?
This is the big reveal. Max looks at Jim and says, I am Sid.
Whoa.
And you, Jim, are not.
Oh, wow. Okay, that lands heavily, I bet.
Yeah, you can imagine. Max explains he actively created the conditions for their reunion. He'd been searching for Jim for 4 years, just like Sid created the conditions for the clover.
Searching for 4 years, that's commitment. That's creating an opportunity.
Right. He dreamt of finding Jim, just like Sid dreamt of the clover. And hearing this, well, Jim is deeply moved, feels renewed, ready to try again.
A powerful illustration. So the story's core message obviously applies beyond Knights and Clovers. To us, right?
Absolutely. To you, listening now, luck isn't some random lottery ticket falling from the sky. It's a direct result of preparing the ground, creating the conditions.
And this brings us squarely to the power of detail.
Yes. Secret number 6 in the book nails it. Do not wait for ideal conditions. Instead, create those conditions yourself. And here's the key part for our focus today. Seriously, look for conditions that seem unimportant, the smallest details, but indispensable for luck.
Indispensable small details. Like Sid's list.
Exactly. Fertile soil, not just any soil. Flowing water, not just any water. Balanced light and shade, a specific ratio. Stone-free soil down to the last pebble.
These seem minor in isolation, maybe.
They might seem like tiny things, unimportant details, but together, they were absolutely essential. They were everything. They were the difference between failure and the clover actually growing.
It reminds me of that saying, the devil is in the details. Or maybe, in this case, the luck is in the details.
Precisely. It's about being proactive, not passive. Like Isaac Asimov said, luck always smiles on those who know how to seek it and are ready to receive it.
Which is the opposite of Jim just blaming fate. So how does the book suggest someone actually starts creating those conditions?
Well, it's about adopting that mindset shift, isn't it? Understanding that, as Pablo Neruda put it, misfortune is the favorite excuse of failures. You have to stop waiting and start doing.
Making it happen. One detail at a time, like Max building his business.
Exactly. It wasn't about deserving luck. It was about making it. And think about Stephen Leacock's line, the more I work, the luckier I get. It's not just blind effort, though.
No, it's focused effort, right?
Wait.
Physics.
Yes, it's the cumulative effect of all those small, specific preparations, addressing the details. It underlines that Japanese proverb, you hold the key to luck. It's internal.
Not waiting for someone else to unlock the door.
Right. George Bernard Shaw said successful people don't find circumstances, they create them themselves. And crucially, the book offers hope. Secret #12 says, it's never too late. You can find luck even from your own misfortunes and failures. Jim can start again.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the big takeaway is that real luck, the kind that lasts, isn't magic. It's not random.
No. It's the outcome of deliberate action, careful preparation, and crucially, that relentless attention to the indispensable small details that pave the way for success.
Those details create the fertile ground where opportunity, when it appears like those raining seeds, can actually take root and flourish.
Exactly. So as you go about your day, maybe think about this. Where in your life, maybe, are you just waiting for luck to show up?
Instead of waiting, could you identify just one specific small detail, something seemingly unimportant, that you could actually address today?
One small thing you can change or prepare to start creating the conditions for your own success, your own luck.
What small detail can you change today to cultivate your own luck?